Hello everybody, back for another video. So today I wanted to talk about a certain talking point I often hear from the manosphere and those types of places. It's talking about a man's source of validation, and what they often say is that you shouldn't get your validation from a woman, and from there are different directions they sometimes take it, but I kind of have problems with all of them. So one direction they often take it is that they say, your validation shouldn't be coming from a woman. It should be from the pride you have in achieving your goals. You know, don't do it because you want a woman. Do it for you. And if a woman happens to come along, great. But ultimately, your your uh, your focus should be on yourself. Now, I sort of understand the logic behind this, but I think it kind of misunderstands or shows a bit of ignorance about male psychology because men, we have a biological imperative to pass on our genes. We want to reproduce. Like, that's really what drives a lot of our actions. I mean, I don't get up in the morning and drag myself out of bed and go to work because I love my job and it gives me satisfaction. I mean, I do sometimes get satisfaction from achieving things at my job, but that's not ultimately enough to keep me from being depressed or make me feel like my life is worthwhile. You know, if I had a woman who I could come home to, who was the mother of my children and all that, that would give me a lot more contentment and satisfaction than just doing a good job at my career. It's not really a career, but it's my job. So yeah, I mean, I know some people might say that's like a Freudian thing that everything we do is motivated by sex, but to an extent, that is why we do what we do. If we think we have a chance to pass on our genes, that's going to be a big motivator for us. So to just ignore that and say, well, just do it for yourself. I don't know who those people are who say, you know, I can be lonely my entire life as long as I achieve my goals in terms of business or money or whatever. I mean, if somebody has a passion in life that's really that strong, well, good for them. But a large number of men are just going to say, look, if at the end of the day I don't get to ever pass on my genes, I don't ever get to have a woman who loves me. If I never get any of that, it's like it's not enough. It's going to be like, what's the point? So yeah, I just don't understand who these people are who think that you can just tell a man do it for yourself. It's like the same thing with feminists who tell women like don't worry about starting a family, just have a career and you'll get to be fulfilled through your career like those men are, which of course is another lie, as we all know, because most men are not fulfilled by their careers. Men want families for the most part. But anyway, so yeah, I just think that it's ignorant of male psychology. So another direction they often take it in is you shouldn't get your validation from a woman. You should just focus on your goals and be your own man, and then women will come to you. Again, I feel like this is sort of something that might work for a certain type of man, but this doesn't work when you're not confident in your ability to attract a woman. Because, see, I have this theory that some men are just sort of naturally gifted at attracting a woman. They know how to, like, they have the right instincts for it. They know how to be confident around women. They know how to be confident in themselves. They feel secure enough in their abilities and whatnot that they can just naturally connect with women and find a partner. But not all men are like that. And again, you might say that maybe that's just a me problem, but that's how it is. So, part of my problem is I've never been able to, maybe it's because I have ADD or something, but because I've never really been able to focus on just one project at a time and, one life's mission that I could say. I just always have a broad, range of things that I want to do in life, but I can't ever focus on them enough to really achieve them at a high level, which might be my own problem, but I don't know. I feel like for men who really have their options with women, men who are the pick, the top men who can have their pick of the women, which is very few. It's easy for them to say, "Well, I'm just going to focus on doing what I want to do, and I trust that a woman will be there at the end of it to satisfy whatever desires I have from a woman." That sounds kind of crass, I know, but you know what I mean. It's just we like women, we want women, so it's not like we can just ignore that. It's part of our nature. We want to reproduce. And you kind of need a woman to do that. So I guess for me, at least, I don't feel confident that at the end of the rainbow, there's a treasure waiting for me in the one of my dreams who will have my kids. Like once you get to that point where you don't think that's going to happen, it's really hard to get out of bed in the morning. It really feels like a lot of labor just to drag yourself out and you know work hard because there's no contentment at home. There's no peace at home. There's no there's no sense of like I made it. There's no contentment. I think I already said contentment, but you know what I mean. I'm just at a loss for words. So yeah, and I guess just another problem I have with this whole idea of you shouldn't get your validation from a woman is whether you like it or not, people are evaluating you based on whether you can attract a woman. Like, I mean, you know, men who can't get women, there are a lot of men who will just mock them and call them losers. And, people use the term virgin as an insult. So, I mean, people are judging you by whether you can attract a woman, whether you want one or not, like, and, and women do it too sometimes, not just men who do it to other men. But, I mean, even people who aren't cruel about it, even people who don't mock others, I think a lot of them on some level, if they see a guy who can't get a girlfriend or whatever, on some level they're judging him as being deficient, as being inferior. Like I hear, I'm not going to say who, but I remember a certain well-known speaker talking about some guy. He says, sometimes you look at these people and you're like, well, I can tell that guy's never had a girlfriend. And everybody just kind of laughed about it. It's like, yeah, see, a guy who doesn't know how to get a girlfriend, who isn't able to be attractive to a woman, on some level, you're looking down on him. Most people are looking down on that guy because they think he's less valuable or he's less of a man for it. So to say, well, don't get your validation from a woman, it's like, yeah, well, other people are going to be, judging you by it. So maybe if you already have a mate, that's one thing, but like, it's easy for you to say that, but for people who are alone, this really cuts them to the core to say, like, don't try to get your validation from a woman. That's a mistake. So I don't know. I just feel like a lot of this manosphere, MGTOW, whatever you want to call it, stuff is just, it might be well-meaning to some degree, but I think a lot of it's just kind of, I feel like it's misguided in a lot of ways, and that's why I don't fully get on board with any of it. I try to learn what I can, but I don't ultimately buy into everything they say because it just doesn't add up to me. So yeah, I guess that's all I'll say about that. So talk to you later.